back, Fran.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress. Hello, Fran.
Hello, Carlo.
Fran, as I take a deep, as I sip my coffee, check this out. I don't know if you've noticed this, but unlike almost every other episode we've ever had, except for one, I guess, there are other guests in the room right now.
I know. It might actually be slightly more entertaining than usual.
I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. So why don't you tell the folks? Oh, first off, by the way, you're listening to Fran and Carlo Get OCR Adjacent Season 2, Episode 8. I'm Carlo, she's Fran. And today, heavy on the OCR. Not going to lie. Probably our most OCR episode that we've ever done.
With hopefully some adjacent.
Maybe we can get a little adjacent. I hope so. And just so you know, you have hit the record button, so don't freak out.
I do. So partly why we do the recording in progress is because you'll see me about 10 times throughout going, because I worry I haven't hit the record button, and that helps me remember it. So guys, welcome. We have Matt, Brooke, and Kate Wray from TMHQ, and we are going to be talking WTM, which is our favorite subject.
Absolutely our favorite subject. Less than 100 days. By the time this airs, it'll be... Someone do the math.
90. Yeah, just over 90.
91.
Oh, let's go.
91.
Days.
There you go.
Oh.
I'm all days. Of course days, you weirdo.
Not long now.
So this is the takeover of the British WTM. It is going to be in the UK this year for the first time, which I'm super excited about because it means I don't have to take a mega long flight.
I do. That's okay, though.
It's okay, but you also get more UK treats, which are super yummy.
I'm excited about that, too. So let's see. Most folks, I think, will have met Kate at WTM last year. Because, Kate, you were a race director as well last year, correct?
So I worked with Everest last year at WTM, so I got a great insight into stuff the other side of the pond. I had been actually out to Atlanta that year that it was really cold as well. So seeing a couple now. But super excited for it to come to the UK. Can't wait.
Me too. And Matt, how did you get roped into this whole thing?
I was wrong place, wrong time with Giles.
It's always Giles' fault, isn't it?
He's always
Giles, right. It's always Giles.
I agree. It is Giles.
all routes lead to Giles. No, I think it's being honest, Carlo. If it was coming to the shores of the UK, I had to get involved. And who knows? This might be a one-off. Never say never, right? But right now we're treating it as it's a one-off. And therefore, I definitely wanted to put my hand up, be with Kate, and lead the charge to make it a full-on British affair.
Wonderful.
I don't even know what that means, and I'm excited. I love it.
It sounds suitably silly already.
It does, doesn't it?
I love it.
But when you think about, if you say a British affair, right, stiff upper lip, let's get it done, but let's make it absolutely amazing. So that's what a British affair is.
That I'm in. I'm already in.
I mean, we're hoping for heavy on the ridiculous, as is WTM is famed for.
Like ridiculous, like difficult, or ridiculous, like silly?
Everything.
Both.
Okay.
I think.
Both.
Yeah.
I think we've been having regular meetings every morning, which take centre stage about how far we can push the boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I think it's twofold, right? As I said, we don't know, might not come back. And so if the team this side of the pond are getting the chance to give it its British flair, we've got to go full on, all in, chips all in, all on red, and go big. Go big or not at all. So that's
go
what
big or go home.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I love is... Oh, go ahead, Kate.
To the extent, like Matt and I are ending up speaking daily about ideas and what we can bring to the table, speaking to the team, getting their ideas. Like everyone's just really excited to get it over our side of the pond.
I love that.
I know Giles has wanted over there for a long time, so I'm glad that we're finally there, and it's so much closer than I realize. So
it's so exciting having it happen so soon because it's usually a year wait, and now it hasn't had to be, and I'm so happy to be able to experience it again.
That's the funny thing, right? I think, and this is the bit which I think is going to blow people's minds just in general, because end of season, my whole season of gearing up to WTM. Well, actually, we've just gone and thrown caution to the wind and said, have it halfway through. See whether or not, you're only going to have a few events under your belt at this point, if that's a tough model world. Obviously, any other ultras or Spartans, dare I say that word, will be there, but and then you're going to have to get back to it, right? And we've got other RTMs and etc. post, and I think that's the great thing about doing it in literally slap bang right in the middle of the year. Not least, obviously, we're going to get the best of the British summer. I now jinxed it, but there you go.
It could be a terrible weekend weather-wise. We don't know, and that's part of the conversation we've had. But one thing that I keep going on about, and I don't think the Americans quite have got the gist of it yet, is how much daylight there's going to be, with it being pretty much like near the longest day of the year. And I think I've been on calls with you, Carlo, like really late, and I'm like, it's 11 o'clock at night and it's still light, and it's getting light at 4 a.m. And the changes are going to be exciting despite whatever it is that you bring in that's different. There are going to be differences due to location, which is really fun. Not
least, that's one of the biggest things that you've spoken about there, right? You just hit the nail on the head around night ops, right? Night ops is going to be far more condensed, and therefore it's going to be far more fun and intense. Because we're going to have to.
Let's go.
Because we've only got a short period of time. I can see Kate's like beaming there, saying, "Don't give the game away, Matt. Don't give the game away."
No, but I also think that night ops will obviously be shorter and really intense, but then when people in the morning, like as that sunlight starts to appear, actually they've got a longer slog than they may have had previously. So that's going to be
a great point.
Well.
Yeah.
So we had this conversation last year because it started a little bit later than usual, later than I'd experienced it last year. I thought you were on fire for a second there, Carlo, with the flapping and the orange and the...
It's very hot here today.
He's getting too excited. But because it started later last year, it ended later, and I really struggled with that period from when the sun came up to finishing, because it felt like, well, we should be finishing soon. I was like,
it took forever.
6 hours to go. I am tired now. It is going to be a whole new game.
It's a bit like that, when you're at the disco, and that's a very British way of saying at the party, the disco, and the lights come on at the end, right? And I'm showing my age. But you're just thinking, oh God, like really? And that's exactly what it's going to be at. Like it's going to be 4:30 a.m. and the lights are going to come on, and everybody's going to be like, do I really have to go for how long left to go? Another 8 hours.
Have we spoken at all, or has it been announced what the start time is going to be?
So it got subtly announced. So the rules have been released. So the rules are out there, and that does include the start time. So it will be midday.
Midday.
Yeah.
I think I released that anyway, Kate, on another. I'm not going to say which podcast, but I think I put my foot in it anyway the other day.
There we go. No surprises there.
So midday.
Midday.
So that's noon, right? We're calling that noon.
12
in the States.
Noon. Midday. When the sun hits its highest point, or near enough its highest point, we will commence party time. So yeah, which means it's civilized. It's also very British because it'd be a nice civilized start to the morning.
You can have a cup of tea.
I was going to say, will we be stopping for afternoon tea some point during the course?
If you want, I don't know.
Well,
yeah, absolutely. If you want, I think that's one thing that those that are coming across from the US might need to get used to, though, is the fact that we don't put cream in tea and coffee. It's milk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I thought you were going to say don't put anything
protein powder in his coffee.
I mean, you don't have to.
I'm out, right?
It's choice.
There
you go. So one thing that we did in preparation for this meeting is that we dropped a question in the World's Toughest Mudder community on Facebook, and just kind of said like, "Hey, we're less than 100 days. Like, what are you thinking? Who's got questions? What's on your mind?" And as you can imagine, we got a few responses. We got some answers too, but I'm like, you're not qualified to answer. Let's get the pros on. So we've got a bit of a list of questions that we want to run through, if you don't mind. That the people at Fran, do you have the list up also?
I do also have the list up.
Good. I just want to make sure because you know me.
I know you. I've met you.
Shadow the whole time. So.
All right. Some of these questions are a bit silly. Should we go with I think a big question that people are really wanting to know the answer to, and maybe if I was better at this, I'd save that to the end. But hey ho, I'm not.
Don't bury the lead, bro.
Okay, something that came up and I think has been spoken about a lot is is there going to be big WTM specific obstacles happening this year? People use things like the cliff as an example. We had the modified Mudderhorn in Alabama a couple of years ago, which
Just
was
shoot me.
massive.
Just shoot me.
Have we got any sneak peeks on anything big that could be coming? What can people look forward to?
There's Matt can elaborate on it, but there's lots of exciting things in the pipeline. We're really leaning in on innovation. There's something big. Unfortunately, there's no cliffs, so no natural features there. But we are looking at something big, something exciting. I think it's big, but it's bigger than me, so who knows what my height is. Much bigger than me, but no, it's super exciting that I think the community will love. And then we are leaning in a lot of innovation, like I said, for modifications and obstacles, for things that you might not have seen before. So it's looking to be really exciting, and I think that's one of the things Matt and I have been speaking about frequently, is like, what can we do? Any ideas that we see, however crazy, we're just...
Do you guys have free reign to do what you want if you have a ridiculous idea? I mean, within the bounds of it can't cost £1 million, I guess.
And it can't hurt anybody.
The £1 million, maybe cross off a couple of other noughts as well there, Fran. But no, I'm joking. In all fairness, right, you know, we sit with the team, spoke with Giles, and we wanted to do or approach WTM again because it's in the UK, in Great Britain, in a slightly different vein. And where we are, we've got two things, right? We've got to showcase to our American mudder friends that this is the best place to come and do a tough mudder, period. Not even if it's just WTM, but period. Mm-hmm. And secondly, we've got to give our UK mudder, European mudders, the flavour for something that they've never had in these shores.
I love it.
So big, yes, we're going to deliver big. So that's already in the works. So expect big. With, you know,
don't give too much away.
Yes, no. Expect big.
He's doing good. Shh, Kate, not now.
And to Kate's point, right? You might see when we release, we share obstacle names or etc. You might see some common names, but the whole idea is just don't expect them to be what you expect them to be.
There we go.
Period.
So prepare to be surprised, is what you're saying.
In an abundance.
Absolutely.
In an abundance.
In an abundance. So, you know, as I said, every single, I'm not going to say every single, but most obstacles are going to be a variation. They are not going to be standard.
But also,
big.
Every single obstacle that will be on course, we've thought about if there's anything we can do to it.
And we've also got, as I said, the great thing about Midlands, which is why we chose it and why the team, we sat down with everybody in HQ and we said, guys, it's now or never. We're going to do it. We've got to do it. It's because Midlands isn't the arch nemesis of like this brutal terrain or this outback where it's freezing cold, right? It throws up everything. It throws up it could be cold, it could be warm. But the great thing is it has everything. It's got the perfect mud. It's got the perfect dig sites. It's got the perfect terrain. It's got the perfect variations between open grassland, beautiful rolling countryside, to some woodland areas, to some hills, to obviously the most beautiful vista on a castle in Beaver Castle, right?
I mean, that's very British.
There's nothing better.
Beaver Castle.
There's nothing better than lit up at night, Beaver Castle. Wow. It's got water, right? We've got everything, all the hallmarks. When you sprinkle a little magic dust of amazing obstacles to make the most incredible WTM experience. So, yeah.
Are we putting this up there as, I mean, you just said to make the most incredible WTM
That's what I heard.
experience. Are we saying this is gonna be up there as one of the best?
The best, I think.
The big words.
This is the first.
Big words from Kate.
This is the first question. I love it. This is question number 1. Holy cow!
I mean,
guys.
We're throwing everything at it from our side. We really want to put on a great event for the community and a great event for the team at HQ that have been involved for so long.
Yeah.
And they're super excited. So yeah, we can't wait. So I think my view is it'll definitely be up there. And yeah, we can't wait.
And
That's
we're
the
going to have
magic
fun.
about WTM,
Right.
isn't it? Because I know it's still an event to work at, but in my experience, these events to work at are super, super fun. Hard work,
Yep.
exhausting. But WTM is something even more special. It's even more fun. And it's wild because it's so ridiculous and yet such a difficult race. And it manages to balance all of this really, really well to be a real. I mean, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't take it on. It's a massive challenge, but so much fun and so much fun for everyone who's taking part. So even like you say, for the crew, for everyone who's working on it, fun for them
Yep.
too. And it is, isn't it? It's a pleasure for everyone.
It brings together the we get the pleasure and the excitement from putting on not the everyday.
Yeah.
Even we obviously love doing ETMs. We've obviously got Europe's toughest Infinity this year because obviously we've got WTMs. We're not doing an ETM. Just Infinities or general regular, full tough weekends. They're great, but this allows real creative freedom in a world in which doesn't exist when you think about world championship level extreme endurance sport. Like no other property out there enables its team to just go rogue. That's essentially what we just say.
Yeah.
Here's a notepad, it's blank, off you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I think that's what's like just so exciting about it. And why the team we're just revved up. Absolutely revved up.
I have an additional question, which I don't think was on the list, but I'm going to throw it in there.
Goodness.
So sorry, Carlo, I'm going rogue.
Hope you guys don't plan on sleeping tonight. This is awesome. Okay.
I'm so sorry. What you're saying about, with championship events, you don't get this freedom and, we talk about silliness, etc. And I remember this really hitting home, potentially at my first WTM, and it was seeing athletes, really, really strong, capable athletes who train really hard on space hoppers. And I was like, how are they not losing, that's a big thing to ask of people who are racing, racing for titles, racing for money, racing for all the reasons that they do. And those penalties have been a huge part of World's Toughest Mudder year on year, but they've also changed in the years that I've known them. They've kind of had reiterations. They've gone from never the sublime, but absolutely the ridiculous. What are we thinking on penalties this year? Are we looking at long distance? Are we looking at absolute ridiculous ideas? Are you looking at a bit of a combination?
I think it's more a combination. I think we want to we've obviously seen worlds over the last 10 years or so, and we want a combination of some of those best penalties, but we want people to be pushed in lots of different ways. So whether that be mental, physical, just really pushing people. We don't want to make it too easy, right?
Penalties, the penalties, Carlo, Fran, they're designed that you can't necessarily train for them, right? That's the purpose of our WTM penalties.
Okay.
They're to put you into a space and or a place where you're just completely bamboozled, and you are left it stretches you in a way beyond as I said, the physical or the core elements of the rest of the course. And I think this year the product team with Kate and others, as they're writing, we started just scripting with a bit of finessing to go, but what they're coming up with is just, excuse my French, but batshit crazy.
Love it.
So I think it's going to be ones whereby, to your point on the space hoppers, right? It's actually going to be hilarious when you're watching these elite athletes. They're going to be left thinking, why am I doing this? And we've done some amazing things already this side of the pond with ETM, and some of those are going to have. We're a couple of them. We're going to be expanding on the fan favorites from ETM.
Awesome.
But it's going to be ones whereby, for a better word, right? You're picking a needle in a haystack type thing, or you're going, we're back on the space hoppers, or we're doing.
We've done needle in a haystack, yeah.
We have done needle in a haystack. That's why I'm using it. So
yeah,
he's giving nothing new away, but he's using it.
That's right.
Illustrate the ridiculous.
That's right.
And ones in which are going to be designed based on also the timing. We've already touched upon around how night ops is going to be solidified and condensed, and then what that morning, the kind of après night ops looks like. So it's with the guys are thinking so well about where the timings of these as well is going to fall. Not least around just obstacle opening and closings, but also then the nature of how we're pairing them with penalties. So I can't wait to see them.
And obstacles if they close, that is.
Dun, dun,
Obstacles if
dun.
they close.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's always
Love
fun
it.
to keep up with throughout the night. Right,
It
Carlo,
is.
go for it. I'm gonna
Yes.
stop going rogue.
Okay. So we got some of these shouldn't have such. Well, not that I don't love the long answers, but some of these hopefully we can just burn through here because they're a little bit easier. Let's see. Next question was, someone was curious, how are the numbers as far as registration looking, given that we're not in the States this year? I think people sometimes forget that they actually have OCR in Europe and the UK, but it's like you get guys.
That's why I'm here to always be like, we've got great OCR in the UK and Europe.
There's a
Exactly.
there's a really without going to specifics, there's a really easy answer, and that's already greater than last year.
That's what I'm saying. I've been saying that to people.
And by some margin. So looking really, really strong, right? We've got to. You look back at some of the best photos for WTM, are those mass, starts, flags waving everywhere, and off. You just watch it around. There's actually a clip that's going around on social this year that we're leveraging or utilizing, which I think was from 2017.
That was a big year,
and it's just woof, and it's just off you go. Now, do I think we are going to be there or thereabouts? I do, yes.
Fantastic. That's a good
I'm
answer.
so excited. Okay, thank you. Someone says, will there be a bespoke volunteer patch for the UK? Now, I know what bespoke
way
is.
More complicated.
I know.
Than that was.
I just
I'm
don't know what a
expecting
bespoke
something fun.
volunteer patch is.
Well, firstly, a bespoke volunteer patch is everyone that volunteers at our events gets a patch for the number of volunteer shifts they've done. And for Worlds, previously, there's been a patch that they can only get if they volunteer at Worlds.
Oh, God.
So for this year in the UK, absolutely, there is going to be a bespoke volunteer patch. I've seen a couple of designs come my way, so it's work in progress at the moment. But yes, absolutely, these volunteers are the heart of our events, and that community piece for Worlds, like Worlds is for the community, and those volunteers are part of that community. So yeah, absolutely.
I can't lie that nothing motivates me like patches and pins and badges, and I'm just like, I want them.
You're one of those people. I see.
I'm one of those people.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
No.
Let's see.
Fran, it's just sorry, really quickly, Carlo. Fran, if Joe listens to this, he will think that we've either scripted this or I've told you to say it. It's a really comical and it's a great point that we're discussing at the moment, just in general in the organisation around best gamification, what mudders, what race from the Spartan side, what others what want. So really interesting. But yes, patches. We love patches.
Patches. I love them. I love them. I'm
patches,
I'm a
bibs.
crow with shiny
People love their
things, I
bibs.
think.
They do love their bibs.
If you can come up with another reason for a bib, people are like, I don't have that bib yet. I need that bib hanging in my basement. And I don't even have a basement. But okay.
All right. Oh, I'm going to ask this one.
Yeah, please do.
Will we be playing the national anthem at the start?
God Save the King.
God Save the King.
Most certainly we will be.
Ooh. The first time I heard God Save the King, it was actually when I was doing the coverage for the European Championships, I think, the Spartan Euro Champs, and I heard it and I was like, holy moly, that's weird. What do you mean it's not the Queen? And it kind of hit home. That'll be so cool.
It's yeah, but it is still weird, and I expect people still to shout out Queen because we don't sing enough often, do we? Right?
No.
Like to be frank, it's not like our US.
I think I know the US anthem
whereby
better.
any opportunity to wave a flag and sing an anthem, which by the way I love, I'm all for.
Great fun.
It's okay.
So we're going to embrace it, and we're going to wave our flags. We're going to pretend it's bigger and better than the coronation, and we're going to sing God Save the King.
So silly, ignorant American question. Did you all just change one word? Did you go from Queen to King, or did you change lyrics too?
No.
Well, that is
Just
the
one
lyrics.
God, I do not know it.
King.
That's it.
Yeah,
You just
long
went.
live our noble
gonna-
king.
God
God
save
save
our
You
the
hit
king.
like put the cursor there. Went backspace.
Oh no,
backspace,
actually that's a
backspace,
lie.
backspace.
That's a lie because we have to
King.
change tense, right? Pronoun because it was send her victorious, so we have to send him victorious now, etc.
Well, we changed the lyrics as well. We changed everything.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, good for us for changing things.
I want to say I don't think I've ever heard it,
Well, you
but I'm
will.
pretty sure I have.
You
I know
will.
the Sex Pistols ones, but that's a little different.
It's a little different.
But anyway,
Sticking on the start line,
Yeah.
big concerns, obviously, because this is a huge part of World's Toughest Mudder. Will Sean Corvell and Clinton Jackson be at the start to pump us up?
oh, look at you. Good question.
Well, great question. So we've got a great selection of MCs over here in the UK as well. So there'll be a different spin in general on certain aspects. However, we appreciate and want some continuity with the event and the community. So it is highly likely, very likely, that you will be seeing one of them at the start line.
I think we've had one of them comment already in the group as to where they're going to be, so we might be able to take an educated guess at that, but I'm not going to do it for people.
Yeah. And
Oh,
that
I
will
didn't
be
see
at the
that.
start line.
At the start line. Okay.
Wonderful.
I think it's really. Don't get me wrong. We also have this amazing opportunity. So we've got MCs this side of the pond have been with us since day dot as well.
Yeah.
And like the team, right? Like myself, like Kate,
Yeah.
like we got to share the love.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that we're gonna necessarily strip or not have any consistencies or carryover. But we've also got an amazing opportunity to give it flair. And as I said, some of the MCs that we have are just awesome. My God, they make my mother, weekends every single weekend. So
I've got to say, if
excited to
I
end.
worked on a role in a company and did something and didn't get to be included on a big event, I think I'd be devoed. So that is very
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
That's a great word, by the way. Devoed.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Devoed.
You'd be devastated? I like
Yeah,
that.
devastated.
Okay,
So
well, that was-
for those watching and for Carlo in the UK, we love to shorten words. So devoed.
That's okay.
Go for it, Carlo.
Thank you. Will there be an orphan tent for those traveling without pit crew?
And can we call it the Oliver Twist hunt?
Oh, that was a good. That was good. Yeah.
I like that naming convention. So we're working really closely with Tracy. Obviously, Tracy heads up all things Orphan Tent. So
One of our
working,
favorite Canadians. Yeah.
yeah, working really closely with Tracy, and there'll be a spin on it. So it won't necessarily be exactly the same, but we're more working in collaboration with her this year. So we've had a couple
Excellent.
of calls. We're working alongside her. More will be communicated on that, but it's really the community getting together. We're setting up separate volunteer shifts for people to help within the hospitality tent that may have previously supported the orphan tent. So we're really working in collaboration and trying to bring everything together as one. So yes, there'll still be presents, but it will look slightly different.
Okay, so what we're hearing is there's not going to be a carbon copy of the orphan tent necessarily, but those who are traveling who don't have assistance won't be left on their own.
Absolutely. And I think like we've been saying, it's really down to the community and us all pulling together, and we don't want to lose that aspect that's so key to these events. So actually we're hoping with this slight change that it will just really bring that community feel again.
Yeah.
In that respect. Yeah. So definitely there'll be something. Those that are coming from overseas won't be left alone. We're all there to support and everyone reach their milestones.
Fantastic.
Love it. Okay.
The next question was a bit more of a looking after people one. Will there actually be showers on site? Now, they did use the word actually, so we kept that in there because it felt important. Will there actually be showers on site?
I can certainly answer for this one, and I guess showers take away from the fun of not showering, right? And that's part of the whole weekend of WTM. So I think simple answer is there will be a ways in which people can clean themselves and rinse themselves, like there is in fact every kind of UK weekend that we have. If somebody's expecting the full spa pamper treatment, including the ability to put on the temperature gauge, then they might be a little bit disappointed.
Okay. So like more of a rinse station kind of a thing it sounds like. Well, not to hold you to it, but okay.
It is a rinse station.
Yeah, look at
It
that.
is a call for our
Cat's out of the bag, everybody.
For our US
Got him.
mothers, we do have. It is a cool way of how we do it. So technically, it appears as a shower, but it just doesn't have the ability to be turned on warm.
Okay.
So let's hope the sun is shining.
The sun's
It's a
shining.
lovely weekend.
Why would it not be? It's the UK in June.
Do you know what though? Actually, it's a really good point to talk about because the sun can shine in the Midlands. And the Midlands has this, and Grantham has this great ability, no matter what the rest of the UK is doing, to do something completely different.
Is it a microclimate?
And it does, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bore people. Actually, the reason why I know why it has its own microclimate, that's for another day. But two things that it always does do in Grantham, having done ETM there, and on normal weekends. One, it loves to be windy.
Oh.
Two, it loves to be cold at night.
Really cold
even
at
if
night.
the sun is out in the day. So for anybody else listening, just prepare for that. We might have sunshine and a nice condition for a rinse or a shower at the end, but you're going to have everything else in between. Before
Well, I think we've kind of had this conversation, haven't we, Carlo? Because people have been like, well, if it's June, it should be warm. And I'm like, do not underestimate.
Yeah.
One, how when you get in the shade in the UK, it's bloody freezing, regardless if the sun is out. When you said woods before, I was like, oh, the memories of running through woods being wet. So cold. So cold. But nighttime,
sure.
yeah, I personally would advise people to be well prepared for chilliness.
And wind is my least favorite element. So I can't wait for that.
Sucks.
It really does. If you're not a ship with a sail, what's the point?
Creeps up on you, right? You can't see it. And anything you can't see, don't like.
And also sometimes in the mornings it can get really misty and foggy as well.
Oh, that's beautiful in mornings, though, isn't it? It's
when Jack
lovely
the
when
Ripper
you
comes
see
out.
it rising, and that's a proper OCR morning when you're out really early and the sun's just up and it's freezing cold and the mist is right. Oh yeah.
There we go. May I?
You may.
Fran?
You may.
Since I think you. Okay. The next question was, how is the Holy Grail being handled this year?
Okay, are you taking this one or mine?
Either. You tell me.
So, I guess twofold. One is it being in the middle of the year. It presents some challenges. Now, I'm not actually sure, and then shame on me for this one, not having it to the tip of my tongue, as to whether or not people will, at that point, at least not in the UK, but maybe
In the
I'm
US,
not
some
sure.
would have had the option.
Yeah, a handful
They
will.
haven't have earned it yet, right?
Well, only a handful of people would have been able to have earned it. Now, the great thing that we did is we changed the medals for this year for all the different component parts, RTM, Infinity, WTM.
Yeah.
And unlike previous years where we provided a housing element, let's call it, a presentation element, the Grail itself, to the medals this year connect. And so the medals and the ways in which they connect then produce your Holy Grail. So for the people who will have got all three at the point in which we have WTM, will get their missing their additional piece. So bring everything with you, and you will then have in your possession your Holy Grail.
So the Holy Grail will be made up of the three pieces that you get, then there's no additional part.
Correct.
So if you've done it by WTM, and that also answers the next question, which was, will events after WTM count towards the Holy Grail? And yes.
Yeah.
Which they will,
absolutely.
obviously.
Good solution, actually.
Correct.
Yeah,
It is.
all events in 2025 will count towards it, and will count towards that mileage as well.
Great.
Okay.
So that is a good inside track, bespoke and unique to this podcast, in that we're telling people to make sure you bring your medals with you, because wherever you get that final third piece, bingo.
Ooh.
WTM 2025. Bring your medals.
There you go.
That's their tagline. Let's see. Will Will awards be distributed at brunch or sent at the end of the year? I assume they're talking about. Well, that you kind of answered that. I think with. You think that's Holy Grail related or just in
Just
general?
awards generally.
Community
Brunch,
awards.
there's awards.
So Yeah, so general awards absolutely will still be at the brunch. So that's all your podiums, and then we'll also do community awards. So I think there's a link actually that's live to vote for the community awards. So that will still be being recognised at the brunch. So yeah, please get your votes in. I think it will shut about a month before.
Wow.
It's across. I've seen it all in Legionnaires pages. Main Legionnaires page, UK Legionnaires page. I think it may well be in the WTM page, but the link is certainly migrating its way across socials as we speak through most ambassadors.
Okay.
So we have a couple of questions in here which are kind of, they're silly but not so silly that I think they're questions we can hold for you and I, Carlo, and not take these good people's time too long, because we still have some good questions that we don't know the answers to that we need from you. I'm just saying that out loud so Carlo knows. But the next question is, what time zone, and what time of the day will pit selection open? When can people expect that?
Great question.
Oh, yeah.
So it will be done so everyone's got an opportunity at the same time to be able to do that pit selection. So it will, obviously, as we normally do, it will start based on like elite, contender, all of those categories, but it will be at 3 p.m. UK time. So which will be morning in the US.
Yeah. 8 hours.
Yeah. Depending on the different time zones.
So 7 a.m. West Coast time, I believe.
Correct.
10 a.m. East Coast.
No, it'll be 5 hours.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I said
10
3.
a.m. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
10 a.m.
Thank you. Wow.
Carlo, you're better than math than I am.
Matt knows.
Math.
Matt knows the way to my heart. Just tell me I'm right, Matt. Just tell me I'm right. Let's go.
He doesn't often get to hear that with me.
That's very true. That's very true.
I'm always wrong.
Okay, so 7 a.m. on the day that it's
the day at which you very sneakily not said which day that is, or
which is that's okay.
When to expect that. But that's guys can announce that in your own sweet time.
A little, yeah.
Well, it will be staggered, and it will all be communicated via email, so that people will get plenty of warning. It won't just be sprung up on them.
That's good.
Okay. Go ahead, Fran, because I'm not sure which ones you were going to skip.
I have a little document here that I'm highlighting, but I've just noticed you're not in that document, Carlo, so you can't see the changes I'm making.
Oh, no, I'm not.
This is slightly a community question, but we can throw it to you guys as well. Is there anyone or any place that would accept deliveries, shipments for mudders who are looking to ship race gear, nutrition, etc., etc.? Are you guys got any... Is that a thing?
Short
That's a good
answer
question.
Is, most of the community knows one another. So we'd ask our UK community to be as hospitable as we only know how in the UK, and connect with anybody that's needing anything shipped and saying, hey, you can ship it to us, and then we'll come. The practicalities and realities of us being able to do it, and God forbid it was missing or it got lost and it ruined somebody's mother experiences. We'd hate that. So we'd ask people to connect in the community on the Facebook page and work together on getting anything shipped if it's needed to hopefully somebody's home. Loads of the mudders, by the way, live close to Grantham as well.
A lot of people are very smug about that. They're like, oh, I'm going to be staying 12 minutes from the venue.
Just going to go home. Exactly. I've seen a few positive comments in that regard.
What I love is I think I'm about as far from the venue as we stayed the year it was in Alabama. But there's no way I'll be driving home.
Right.
The UK is different. Okie dokie. Carlo, I can see you're in here now, so you can go ahead.
I'm in there now.
On yellow or blue, you can ask them.
Oh, this one's kind of fun. Let's say, what kind of wildlife will we have to be concerned about that won't kill and eat us while on course?
Okay, we should say the funny story about ETM.
Okay.
Actually, I know what you're
hilarious. ETM 3 years ago, 4 years, whenever it was, first ETM back post pandemic.
Let's just premise that it wasn't hilarious at the time.
It wasn't hilarious at the time, no. So we were 10 minutes from starting, and I was actually out on course, and I was just doing some checking of hot lap. And anyway, and I went into this field that guess what, we're going to be using in WTM. And I radioed in and I said, guys, is there going to be a massive bull in the middle of this field that we're running through? Literally. And they're like, no. And they're like, and there's like loads of cows and calves. And this is making me feel a bit uneasy. Anyway, lo and behold, this bull starts charging. Run out the field very quickly, shut the gate. And then we had to completely reflip the whole lap like 10 minutes before. We ended up starting late because this bull had got out. Anyway, we've got no guarantees that this bull won't get out again. So we might have a wild marauding bull around throughout the 24 hours in which we're running for. But yeah, bulls, like legitimate live bulls, big horns, slightly salivary, who can also charge. So that's what we got.
Do you get a special patch for being gored by a bull?
Well, running of the bulls, that's one of the obstacles, guys.
It's a penalty, maybe.
I like it already.
So yeah, so a bull. I don't know what it feels like to be impaled by a bull. It's probably
I think pretty painful.
comparable to being bitten by a gator. Do you think?
Yeah, I don't.
That didn't happen last year, thankfully.
No.
I might take the penalty loop on that one, but unless it's a must complete, then we're just like, yeah, this is my life.
And it's usual, right? So your usual type of countryside, UK countryside prey. Will be prey and predators.
Rodents? What do you got out there?
We've got very
it's
little.
more around, eagles, kites, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You have spiders? Got anything in the way of spiders over there?
Something that can poison you.
Well, there is, ironically, there is poisonous spiders in the
But
UK,
they can't
but
bite.
they don't actually know how to bite us. So that's brilliant, right? True story.
Well, then what's the point of being a poisonous spider if you can't bite?
One of life's
It's like a waste of...
one of life's great mysteries.
Dang
Aren't
nature.
daddy longlegs incredibly poisonous, but they can't bite you?
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Yes, that is one of them.
Wait, are you
midges aren't going to exist that far south, are they? Because they might not be poisonous, but holy heck, they are annoying.
No.
Daddy long legs are we have those here all over the place, and I don't bat an eye. Are they really poisonous? Are you serious? You guys like?
They
Yeah,
can't,
they
they
can't
can't administer
bite.
is it poison or I don't know. But yeah, they can't bite you. They just
Probably
carry
have
it
one
in
here
their
right
little
now.
Skinny body.
And there's the hunting hounds, right? There's the hounds as well.
Yeah, there's the
They're on
hound.
site.
So in the morning, as the sun starts to rise, they walk the hounds, which there's a lot of them. We're talking like 50
I do like dogs.
hounds that they walk. So yeah, exactly, like hunting dogs. So you'll hear them before you see them.
That's fun.
Hear them and take cover.
It's
Yeah,
gonna.
nothing,
I'd say it's gonna be charming over terrifying.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Minus the bull. Minus the bull.
Minus the bull. Okay.
All right, let's
So a big
stick to
thing
the
that
list.
happens in the States is, and this is really a huge part of the world's toughest mudder experience, is having people like the Everest Angels, etc., the Men of Mudderhorn. How are we looking for that to be a thing here in the UK, with it being in a totally different country? Is that something we could still look forward to?
I think absolutely 100%, but it is like with the Everest Angels, Men of Mudderhorn. I know also last year there was someone that was stationed at Irish Table for the duration. I think we're going to see people from the community that do that as they would normally. At the moment, I know there's a couple of obstacles that have people that want to be stationed at it, but it's really like linked to the community and that support everyone brings to each other.
Sure.
They're always some of the best stories, because I think it's incredible that people go out on their first laps, stay at an obstacle until the morning. Some don't even make it back in time, right? Some don't even cross the finish line in time because they really want everyone to get the mileage that they're after. So we will 100% have stories like that. It's so key. So yeah, anyone that wants to do it, please do, because it's amazing. And it's so appreciated by everyone as well.
For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have one here, and I'll read it as it's written, but then I also want to change it slightly. So basically, they said, "Will we see a return of operation?" Which I want to basically just say, can people look forward to there being any electrified obstacles this year?
There will be electrified obstacles this year.
Okay. Can I ask one step further and say, will there be mandatory electrified obstacles?
The
curious.
process on both of our minds.
Okay.
Judging by Matt's reaction,
I
would hate
to be decided. To be decided.
Okay.
We'll revisit.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's actually the reason why we are both smiling when we paused, and there was that awkward silence, which we love in Tough Mudder.
Only awkward if you make it awkward.
That
Better
is.
girl.
And we made it awkward. So there you go.
Yes.
The reason is we've got some debates at the moment in HQ.
Okay.
As to what we do or don't want to do with it. So that's why neither of us are giving a precise answer, because there are different sides of the table.
and it's good that they get heard. Can I ask a favor?
Well,
So
depends what the favor is.
Yeah, I'm like, we can always ask.
we can always ask. So last year, when we did the live coverage of World's Toughest Mudder, we decided last minute, just before the race started, to kind of set up a donation pot to try and get either myself or Will Hicks to do electroshock therapy. And if we raised enough, then the whole team would have to do it together. And in the end, Will had to do it. And he was very, like, after the race had finished,
Hilarious
and
video.
we were exhausted, and he wasn't thrilled about it. Just keep that in mind of what we can punish Will with this year.
Maybe Giles will want to get involved. Giles and Matt.
Ooh.
Well, Giles definitely will want to get involved.
Yeah.
So let's not take Giles off.
It's always fun when someone volunteers you. You're like, hey, wait, what?
So no, as I said, I'm pretty sure Giles will be up for that.
More silliness we can encounter, the happier I will be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there'll be, like, in years past, there was like the Carabiner route, and with the little challenges. Like after last year, I think they just did the challenges. You could win just little awards. There was no kind of a course advantage, which I'm fine with. Oh shoot, that reminded me now of another question too, which was obstacle bypass bans. Are those back too?
Yeah, so 100% the obstacle bypass bans are back. And then in terms of the Carabiners, there won't be a Carabiner that changes the course route or anything like that. That we're still having discussions if we're going to do Carabiners per se.
Okay.
But yeah, overnight we'll definitely look to do some challenges. Feel free to send some challenge ideas over. We're always open to.
Nice.
Fran and I did a couple last year.
You did. I think you did quite a few of them.
That was really fun, actually.
I was not good at eating a pickle fast.
Oh, that was my worst one.
I thought I would be, because I
had never tried before that.
Embarrassingly quickly, and I was the last to finish the pickle, and I was like, I've really let myself down here.
No, and I know people at Worlds love pickles, pickle juice, but I can't stand the smell of it.
Really quickly, I'm glad, Fran, that you said you eat quickly, because I observed that a few years ago at Spartan European Championships, and I thought, wow, somebody eats absolutely rapidly. So I'm glad that's just come up now.
I eat really quickly.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're going to have paranoia now, Fran.
Oh, no!
It was noticeable, Fran. It was
so noticeable.
That's how fast you ate.
I'm going red now.
Anyway, there you go.
Oh, I love it.
Talking about eating.
Oh, yeah.
Something that I would like to talk about with you guys, which you've just announced today, is the location of the much anticipated location of the brunch.
What?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Matt, do you want to say this or shall I?
You can take it. You can do the honors, Kate.
So really excitingly, actually, we're having a bit of a change this year. We want to give the British experience. So it will be a Great British Fry Up, of course, with proper bacon.
British
Proper
bacon.
bacon.
Yeah,
What is that?
British
What does that
bacon.
mean? What does
No
a British
streaky.
fryer mean?
Like
British
fry
fry
up.
up.
Like it's a
Oh,
cooked breakfast.
Yeah,
You say fry up?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
and
fry up.
Google. Everybody, anybody from the US listening, go and Google British Fry Up. FRY up. Fry up.
Thank you. Okay, I will do that
So
actually.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, so we will be hosting the brunch actually at the event site. So you'll
Oh.
have the lake out in front of you and Beaver Castle behind as a backdrop. So
That's super cool.
we're going to be doing it at the event site. Everything's going to be set up there. So the team will be working hard to make all those changes
Wow.
in the afternoon as everyone's getting their rest. And we will be back there where those awards were won.
So outdoors or tented
So
or
weather
Tented.
dependent. Yeah, weather
Okay.
dependent, but there'll be opportunity for us to embrace the backdrop that is Beaver Castle.
Beautiful.
Love it.
With a lot of British Union Jack fanfares, if the weather is kind, think British summer, and if not, of course, we'll be undercover for everybody.
That's fantastic. What a great idea.
yeah.
So if people don't get their photos when they're exhausted and
They can
everything on
pretend.
they can
Yeah,
be there.
exactly.
Absolutely, they can
It's
be there
gonna be-
looking fresher faced. Not too fresh though, not too
Not
fresh.
too fresh. Remember, no temperature gauge. So
That's right.
we're in charge. But the great British Brunch at Beaver Castle, and it's going to be
I
the
love it.
best of a British fry up
That's going
or
to
an
be good.
English fry up. I don't know
Which
what
means
With
finally we'll
proper-
be able to eat something at brunch because there's never
Proper
any vegan
bacon.
options in the States.
proper bacon, proper eggs, proper sausages.
So proper bacon, I believe we would just call that ham. Is that right? No offense to anybody.
No, because we would call a ham a gammon. A ham is you can have a cooked ham. Like
Now we're just gonna go in circles. Here we go.
Yeah, as I said,
The thing with British
it's
bacon,
It's bacon minus the fatty streaks.
The
you
fatty
still have
parts.
some fat that makes it all fatty.
Yeah, it's
and
like
you
the
can
fat right
burn
now.
and get
The
all fatty and
rind.
delicious.
It's
but
the
you can't
rind,
eat the
isn't
meat
it?
with it.
Correct.
Look at us.
Yeah.
It's like the best of everything. I don't eat
And
bacon, but there we go.
The providers that we have been with us for years. They're award winning. The UK group will know them. Wonderful operator called the Jolly Hog. They come with us
heard of them.
everywhere.
That's a great name.
They do the best sausages, bacon, etc. So, and as I said, it's available. Like it's the award-winning type thing, for breakfast. So we're excited.
With it being in the UK, will there be tea on the finish line?
High tea or just tea?
Just tea, just
Or
a cup
tea
of-
or even tea at an aid station.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, but maybe.
Be a very
Look at
nice
that.
way to end the race.
Do you know? I think this is a good one for the WTM community. To put a poll in. You guys feel free to put the poll in. But if the consensus says we demand warm cup of tea, then maybe we shall bow and fix warm cups of tea. on the
Oh.
finish
I'm
line.
going to vote for that quite a lot.
I'm
That's
gonna
what used to
figure out
get
how
me
to
through
start a
races,
poll.
was the idea of a
too.
cup of tea at the end when I was freezing cold and not very happy. I'd be like, just not long till I can have a brew.
I will have a lot of teas overnight, that is for sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
Nice.
So we've done all the questions. We've asked
We
you the
have.
big thing about brunch, which I love. I love the answer. Is there anything that you feel we should know?
That we have not asked.
I like Matt's little smile there, and I want to know what's going on in his head.
Yeah, me too.
I
or maybe I
think,
don't. Maybe I
I
don't.
think so. We've been quite quiet at the moment. The community haven't heard from Kayla or I in any form of communication. So be prepared. But I'd also say just don't be prepared to receive the type of things that you've received in the past in the lead up to.
Okay.
Be prepared to think outside or need to think more broadly and outside the box in your own planning. Mudder's planning for the weekend itself. And lastly, just be prepared to embrace Britishness in everything.
Be prepared to embrace Britishness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm in.
And that's going to be the mantra for what we're gonna deliver. But Britishness, which is with a slightly fun, sarcastic at times, which is going to blow some of our US mudders, legionnaires' minds. And humorous for sure. So it's going to be it's just going to be awesome. So it's going to be a journey, and it's going to be great fun.
Now I'm excited.
No,
I already was excited, but now I'm like, yeah.
Carlo is like the WTM mega nerd. So
Is that what I am? Mega nerd?
Yeah.
Mega nerd.
I've been to a few. I've run a few. Whatever. That's okay. That's all right.
It's all right. We love it. We love it.
I'm just happy to see Michael Schutt again. Just saying.
Michael Schutt. Yeah, we
My
like
guy.
him.
That's my guy.
Do you know what we have loved seeing is the amount of people who have come out of the woodworks. Legionnaires of past who just said, "No, I'm retired," and all of a sudden, I might be able to throw my hat in the gauntlet.
Now this is, I have no idea if you would know this at all. What's the possibility that we see John Albin?
I actually don't know.
Okay. That name just popped up when you said that. Thinking of OGs, I was like, oh.
Well, the last time we saw him, he obviously won in the Lula.
Come on, John. Fran, send him a message. You know him, right?
Did
you just dismiss me?
I didn't. I agreed. I was much thinking.
I think it could be, never say never, right?
Sure.
We'd always welcome John. We'd always welcome any of the fraternity who have been part of the journey, have made Tough Mudder what it is, have put UK Tough Mudder on the map globally. So, John, if you're listening, who knows?
We know he is.
Definitely listens.
Are you kidding me?
All the top athletes.
All the time.
Top athletes.
A few of them.
But genuinely, if John wants to be there, we reach out to us. We've got a couple of some interesting embers in the fire with potential people who have pushed the boundary beyond life's boundary, endurance boundary, beyond what we think is achievable, the limits of humans. But and two of them are potentially going to come off, which would be exciting.
Well, that was a tease.
That's
amazing.
John wasn't necessarily one of them, but I would love John to be there. Had a great time in the Lula. So
the great thing about it being in Europe is the competition is going to be different, and I do think this is a fair point that sometimes people in the US underestimate what happens over here. Like there are some great athletes who take on ETM, other races who ramp up the miles. Rack them up
too.
Rack them up. That's the word I'm looking for. That haven't made the trip over in the recent years, and there's gonna be quite a few people like that. So the competition this year could be really fun. I'm probably not gonna have the answer in the bag in the first hour as to who's gonna win.
No, I think the competition is going to be really high, and I think with the course and the terrain, things can change. So I think it will be a difficult one for us to predict in advance, or even as the race starts. I think it could be anyone's.
There's some good names. There's definitely the field is. There's some good names of more recent years and of past. And it's those people, like last year, like. So many people clocked up good mileage, like solid mileage. And it just takes a couple of variables and, could be in the game, could be out the game. That's the great thing with WTM, right?
Absolutely. Could take a 4-hour nap and come in third place still, fourth place, second place? Don't remember. Second place. I should remember.
It was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Should we let our friends go to bed, Fran, or should we?
Before we let you go, and this is throwing this on to Carlo, we do normally end with a very random thoughts on things. Carlos, did you have a thoughts on things for this week?
No.
Dun, 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 he didn't. That's one of the great pleasures.
I know, but I knew we were gonna run long probably with this, and I did not prepare a thought on things.
Oh,
do you, Fran? You'll put it on me all the time. Sometimes you ask questions too.
You're the creative genius here, so
stop
I rely on you.
Stop it. That's okay. That's okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys. Seriously.
No, thank you.
Some really great answers.
You.
I'm so excited.
I know.
Less than 3 months.
Time is going to go quickly.
It is.
It is.
We'll be there so soon. Great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
You sticking around for a second, Fran?
Yeah, I hope everyone's sticking around
cool.
for a second, because there's always that awkward moment when you end a podcast and people just hang up and you're like, oh, I didn't actually say a real bye.
I was
so my bye
gonna
was a bit like...
just